2 light bars. Alright guys, we're chilling in the booth. It's a muggy like 88 here today, but I stopped by the Dollar General and got a little fan. We have power in the booth, so that's good. I even hooked the power up to my Optima trickle charger so we can show off these lights all day and not kill that battery. So yeah, just hanging out, talking to folks, seen some folks from Georgia, and my parents are heading up here shortly, and we'll walk around with them and check out the show. There's our teal and pink.
She going. Wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's going to stay.
Oh, this makes a bed?
I think so. My parents checking out a camper that they're not gonna buy. Me personally? Alright, we had an awesome day at the show, and if you've never been down here, there's a lot to do. There's a vendor show, there's an obstacle course, they had an awesome sandcastle, food trucks, they had a lot of different things for the kids to do. My parents came by, they don't have a Jeep, but they found the show fun and interesting, and you know, a day here and you've kind of seen it and done it all, and then you can go hang out at the beach one day. So tomorrow I'm going to take off from the show and go hang out with my folks for the day, and then I'll be back here Sunday to pick it up. They are doing an event here Saturday night, and I might come, not sure, but I'll film it and you'll see. All right, Sunday, I actually did come up here last night, checked out the concert, and Todd from Mpower did the show all day. I wasn't here, I was hanging out with my folks, and he like halfway broke down and packed up the tents, and then actually loaded up the Comanche bed last night. I was gonna film that, but it was kind of dark and late, and there was a concert going on in the background. Pretty cool, but now I got the truck right over there. Comanche's here. We got the bed of this thing packed up, tarp down. I got to throw a few things in the bed of the truck, and you know, this is the reality of these shows. Like, now there's kids playing baseball in the background, there's people playing soccer where they just had all the Jeep parking. Here, I'm gonna turn you guys around. And the only folks that are still hanging around is like, you know, like Motobuilt still got their trailer right there, and you can still see the Jeep Sandcastle, and just some of the big guys, I guess probably rolling out Monday or something like that. But yeah, right where everybody was just parked not long ago was people playing soccer. So, you know, all that work for months for these guys, and then now it's already back to what it was, you know, a week ago or something, just a field. So anyways, let's get this thing packed up. We'll give you a recap. We'll get on the road. All right, we are loaded up and we're headed back to Georgia. I did see a cool place for a picture on the way out. I think we're gonna stop. I saw like a forest. I kind of wish I could unload this and get a picture of it because it had like a cool forestry sign, but let's get going back. I won't make this long for you guys. I'll make it a quick trip back as far as the video is concerned, and I definitely want to talk to you guys a little bit about the show as we ride. All right, we're on the road and we've got about, it says 6 hours, but it'll probably take me closer to 7, just because I can't go as fast towing, and you never know about traffic and whatnot, and I like to stop and make sure straps are tight and eat up a little bit more gas. I will say the Ram averaged 11 to 12 mpg on the way down. Not bad. Something I want to cover in a future podcast is, why do we go to these shows? Well, I can give you a couple quick reasons, and then I'll, not drag this video on, but I'll do it in the podcast. But one, we like it. It's fun. Okay, so that's number one, and you just gotta go ahead and throw that out there. Now, I've done a bunch of shows, and if we were just doing it for fun, I probably wouldn't come to this one. Not that it's not fun, but just that we just had Daytona, and it's hard for me to be away from the shop. So you got to think, like, Wednesday I left at about 5 o'clock. I worked, but I'm still packing the trailer, prepping. There's a lot that goes into prepping for a show, a lot of communication and effort, and organization, things like that. So if it's just for fun, this one wouldn't necessarily be that, because we just had Daytona, and Daytona's kind of like Jeep Beach, is like something we just plan to do every year, basically. Second, networking with other companies and talking to different people. It's definitely great when I saw maybe a dozen folks from our area that came by the booth, and it's kind of cool when you're 6-7 hours from home, and people from your hometown are coming by to see the local guy, showing off a Jeep or whatever. But if it was for just that reason, again, I wouldn't probably come to this show, because they see me at a lot of other stuff as well, when they see me at the shop and whatnot. Now, I think the main reason for this one is because Mpower is our main sponsor for this build, the Project Ranger Bob, or our Comanche build. And what does that mean? Well, not only am I a brand ambassador for them, so Blue Jeep's covered in their products, not only am I also a dealer for them, so I sell products for them, but they are the main sponsor for this build. And ultimately, our end goal is taking it to SEMA, and they were the ones that came on board and said, hey, you can put it in our booth at SEMA. We'd love to have you. We want our products on it. And we're supporting your build process of taking it, from basically non-running, slightly modified, slightly overstocked, to a SEMA build. But we'd love to be a part of that process, that build process. And a part of that is taking it out to shows as is in the progress that's being built. So we're going to be having it this was their only show. It was going to be in their booth until it goes to SEMA. So it's going to be in CanCut's booth the majority of the year. And that's because Andy's doing a lot more local shows. He did Daytona, they didn't. And we wanted to put it in Andy's booth at SEMA, and he gave us the feature spot last year, but financially it's a huge obligation, and it's tough to get a vehicle display in the tool area versus in the off-road area, where they're going to be Mpower. So it kind of worked out better for their company. They have a little bit better financial backing, and maybe at some point, sorry, I'm moving you guys because my arm's getting tired. Maybe at some point, we'll be able to put something in the CanCut booth, because Andy's a huge supporter, and he loves the industry, and he's, always supporting Black Bear, and we appreciate that. We want to work with him because we love the CanCut drill bits. But, CanCut and Mpower are the two main backers on this build. And what does that mean? Well, Andy, the way he backs me is by giving me booth space. And if you don't know, some of these shows, booths can be $2,500, $3,000 or more. Some they're not as much. But we did Save Expo with him. We're doing Jeep Beach with him. We did Jeep Beach with him. We're doing Nopi Nationals with him, and we're also doing Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. So obviously he's going to those shows anyways, but he doesn't have to let us be in his booth. So it's awesome that we get that exposure, which helps bring recognition to the build, but also to the shop. And one thing that we also want to promote is shopblackbearoffroad.com, where you can go and build out your Jeep and buy parts. That's kind of our national brand. Obviously, our regional brand is going to be Black Bear Off-Road, the shop, where you can come by and get service work done. So that's the other reason we come to the show, is to promote Black Bear. But with all those things being said, it makes it a valuable trip because we're able to promote our website. We're able to get in front of our vendors and network. We're able to meet new people. We get awareness to the Mpower brand. We get awareness to Black Bear Off-Road. And it's like businesses helping businesses, where, you know, I'm helping Mpower get their name out there, and they're helping me get my name out there. We're working together. I think they call that synergy, right? So it works. And not only that, like, the Comanche is covered in their products, and we're actually able to show people in person what those products look like, and versus it being a display on a table. We're actually able to put it on the vehicle and show people what things look like. So that's why we go to these shows. It takes a lot of time and effort. I've been to a lot of these shows. They don't excite me as much as they used to, but my favorite part is interacting with people, whether it's old friends coming up and saying hi. I saw a guy I hadn't seen in a couple years that I sold products to when I worked for JCR and Nitro, and it was cool just to reconnect with him. And then it's also new people. I met a guy that has a Comanche or a Cherokee, and he just bought it, and he wants to follow along with the build process and see what I do to this vehicle, and maybe get some ideas for his own. So that's what it's all about. Super fun. Shout out to my parents for letting me stay with them. They live about 30 minutes from the show, and so that was cool to get to spend some time with them. So yeah, that's it. Great show, family atmosphere. There's a lot to do. They put on a lot of different events. I would say if you've been to Daytona, it's about half the size, but they do have nicer beaches. I like the restaurants and the atmosphere better than Daytona. The water's prettier. If you just want a vacation in the Gulf, which is, to me, the best place to go on vacation if you live in Georgia, at the beach anyways, Destin, Fort Walton, and Panama area are fantastic. And then you can just make a Jeep event out of it by coming to some of the events, going to the vendor show. They had an obstacle course. They had a day where they had a beach excursion. You can't drive on the beaches in Panama, but they had a one-day thing where you can go out, park on the beach, hang out. They had a bunch of vendors out there. So it's some unique opportunities. My favorite part about Daytona is the nostalgia of the town, of being in the Daytona 500, in the infield, and also the ability to drive up and down the beach whenever you want. Now, it's a lot closer and cheaper to come to this event in Panama. I think a 3-day pass was like $25 or something like that. Now, I don't know what vehicle registration costs. I think that might have been just to like park and come in. But compared to Daytona, it's a lot cheaper. I'm not pitting one versus the other. My personal favorite of the two is Jeep Beach. But that's just because I love being able to drive on the beach, whatever day I choose, hang out, chill, look at the ocean, watch all the Jeeps drive by. That's my favorite part of Daytona. And I also like the events in the infield. There's a lot of vendors, and it's kind of like the kickoff to the year. There's just a handful of these really big events during the year, and Jeep Beach and Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion are the two biggies. And Panama, to me, just doesn't have the size, but that doesn't mean it's not a good show. It's definitely, I like the layout they did this year. It was easy to walk through. It was convenient. There was bathrooms, there was food, lots to see and do. So, you know, it's definitely worth a visit if you live in this area, or if you just want to cruise down. It's definitely a shorter drive. And then kind of the last thing I want to touch on is, like, why did we tow to this event? Well, we towed because I just drove, you know, 1,000 miles back and forth to Daytona, and it was hot. No air conditioning, and the Comanche will get it working at some point, but we didn't have time. It was a quick turnaround. It's just 2 weeks later. So no air conditioning. That's not super comfortable. And then this event, you can't drive the vehicles out at night. So, and I knew I wasn't going to be at the show Saturday. So it just meant I was gonna have to Uber or get rides from my parents or borrow one of their cars, have them drop me off at some point and then take me back. So it was kind of convenient to have my own truck here. And with it being a shorter drive, no big deal. My buddy Steve Cox, shout out Steve, let me borrow his trailer. In return, I threw some new tires on it for him, and you know, makes it nice. I can't go quite as fast, but comfier size truck. I bring him back a bicycle for Abby that we had down here at my parents, and brought a bed cover, a tonneau cover down for my dad, installed it for him. So it's just kind of convenient. We actually brought down a lot of gear for Mpower for their booth. We brought a table and a tent and chairs and stuff like that, and we had the room. If I was just in the Comanche with my luggage and all that, it would have been a little bit tougher. So nothing wrong with the Comanche, just kind of means we don't have to worry about any mechanical issues. Just, I only had like a quarter tank of gas in that thing, but it didn't matter because I trailered it, unloaded it, put it in here, boom, beautiful. So we're headed back now. If anything of excitement happens, I'll show it to you. But yeah, good time at Jeep Beach Jam. I don't know, the future will tell if we'll be back here next year, but I've come to the show off and on for 9 years now. So like, this was the 4th time being there over the course of the last 9 years, where Daytona over the last 12 years, I've been there 11 times. So you can tell which one I want to go to and be at. And again, a lot of the vendors that are at Daytona are at Jeep Jam, but there's more vendors there. So it gives me more of an opportunity to network at Daytona. But, you know, there's a lot of locals here, a lot of Jeep traffic, definitely a good show. Found this little like wildlife management area called Pine Log. Just driving down and checking it out. I'm gonna get a picture of the Comanche through here. Check this out, pulling a trailer through a forestry road. I wish I could just had the time to pull the Comanche off and rip through here for a little bit, but the whole bed of that thing is loaded up as well. So something cool, we put this Race Sport lighting switch. It's basically a switch controller, but it's good about 100 feet. So I put it up in the truck, and so you can see I got the lights on right now in the Comanche. I can hit a button and they turn off. So if for some reason we're going down the road and I'm like, hey, I need to throw on the flashing lights, we got a hazard or whatever broke down, or if I'm backing this thing up at night or whatever, I can throw on the back lights. So basically I can use all the light functions on the Comanche with no issues from inside my cab, which is pretty cool, because you never know if you're gonna get a flat tire on the side of the road, and at least you got some flashing amber lights. So just grab that picture over there by the state forest sign. I'm kind of kicking myself. When we came back from Daytona, we took back roads and there was like a couple state forests. I'm like, it'd kind of be cool to get pictures of the Comanche at a bunch of different state forests, since it is going to be like a ranger or a national forest. You know, it's going to be like a park ranger or a forest ranger, whatever you want to call it, vehicle. So anyways, well, we're just about into Dothan, and there's a bad wreck. Looks like a school bus or something big overturned. Definitely not good. We're gonna try to make our way over. We got rain. Alright, looks like a travel trailer. Looks like a travel trailer flipped over up here. So, couldn't film it, but I actually got pulled over by a sheriff right about in Abbeville, Alabama. So, I was coming down a hill and saw a state trooper, and as I was headed back up the hill, I started flashing my high beams trying to warn the folks ahead of me. Now, I wasn't speeding because I got this trailer behind me. I've been running we're in a 65 zone, running about 62. And I flashed a couple more times coming back down the next hill. And then I see the sheriff come across the median, get behind me, pull me over, and came up and asked for my license and insurance, gave it to him, and Thankfully, right about that time, a guy came by speeding and didn't get over, was in our lane, and the sheriff ran back, threw me the license and said, quit flashing your lights. So you have to help me out, Alabama folks, or y'all that are with the legal knowledge. I remember a few years ago in Georgia, they passed a law allowing you to do that. Exactly what I did, flash your lights. Now maybe that law's changed, I haven't looked at it in a while, but I was in Alabama, so maybe in Alabama that's illegal. Now I wasn't flashing Ranger Bob's lights, I was just flashing my high beams, kind of letting people know. And let me know in the comments, do you think you should do that? Should you let people know there's a cop, or just let them get a ticket? Because I mean, I get it, we're all in a rush. If you're just doing like 75 and a 65, nobody wants to get pulled over and deal with that, and your insurance go up. Like, honestly, I think the speed limit should be a lot higher. Our tires are better, our brakes are better, modern vehicles are so much better. We're in like a high concentrated area of people just out here on 280 West. I'm just about to Phoenix City, about to get on 185, but this was back in Abbeville, which is near Dothan, pretty close to Dothan. So anyways, that was my excitement. Thankfully I got to go, no ticket, and did have to pull off the road pretty good with this trailer, and it was kind of hard to get back going, but no big deal. Just reporting on our excitement here on the trip today. Gassed up and got some Wendy's in Phoenix City, Alabama. Now we're in Georgia, getting a little rain right here in Columbus. I always think about something when we get rain. It's, man, that's really going to help our coolant temperatures. Helps disperse the heat. I bet no one else really thinks about that. Also, I'm thinking it'd be good to help clean the windshield from all the bugs. But good thing I've got a Goliath tarp on their stuff in the back of the Manchi. I'll have to show you guys that later. It's an awesome little tarp. We use it in our off-road trailer, but it's really made for a Ford Ranger bed. So it works great in the Comanche bed. I'll put a link below in the description, but they do make full-size ones, but it's got like little tie downs that make it really easy to use. I don't know if you guys can see that, but coolant temperature dropped 20 degrees. So it was like 225, now it's 206, it was 204. Just one of those things I always look at. 2 miles away from home, can't wait to be there. Alright, safe and sound back to my house. I did tell you guys I wanted to show you this. So this is the Gladiator cargo net. Not sponsored or affiliated with them, although I did talk to them at SEMA the last 2 years. This thing I use in the bed of my trailer, my off-road trailer, and it helps keep dirt off of all my gear. Well, it was raining today, and I was keeping all my stuff in here, my tent, my table, all that good stuff, nice and dry. I like it because it has these little like straps that come with it. Super easy to use. Anyways, long story short, check them out. I'm gonna put the link below. Appreciate you guys watching, following along, and I hope there's an event. Hope there's an adventure in your future, or an event next week. About the time you're watching this, we'll be actually headed down to Georgia Jeep Invasion, hosted by the Georgia Jeep Alliance in Milledgeville. So hope to maybe see you guys there. If not, maybe see you at a Scottles and Bottles or Jeep Night. We'll be at Elixir on the 29th, and then we're gearing up to go to Pigeon Forge again in August. So hope to see you there. We'll be seeing you. Eat your prunes.